Hello, dear listeners. It's CoachBusi again on Toast Talks with CoachBusi. This day we have the amazing, the absolutely rockstar kind of Toastmaster. Please help me welcome Toastmaster George to the virtual podium. Hello, Toastmaster George. How are you?
Well, thank God I would be better, but I thank God for what I do, what I am. You know, there are a lot of people who don't have the health that I have, so I think really. Yeah.
I love that. Always starting with gratitude. That is a game changer. Toastmaster George, how long have you been a Toastmaster?
It's almost 4 years now. Well, I say almost because it's just 2 months above, right? I started
Mm-hmm.
in 2020, April, so 4 years full now. It's been
Okay.
a big journey, all the way. But now I feel I'm really a Toastmaster. Yeah.
I know the deal. I totally understand. Tell me from the very beginning, how did you become interested in becoming a Toastmaster? And which was the club that you joined when you started your journey?
It's something interesting at my side. I didn't join Toastmaster just by my own willing. I'm from a corporate club, FNB Inspire in Mozambique. And the corporates normally let's say they contract the services of Toastmasters as a development platform for their employees, right? And what happened is at my side, in the previous year, I had placed it to my manager the need of developing myself into communication, into leadership, actually, right? So the process inside my company is all the development needs of the previous years, they are put into the learning and development unit, whereby then they may organize and they see if they can get a training company to assist the resources that have chosen that stream of development. And what happened to me is that I was invited to join Toastmasters just like all out of a sudden. And I joined Toastmasters. Only later I understood that I was listed to be a member of Toastmasters in that very beginning year because I had in the previous market that I need development in leadership. So that's all the way I went into the Toastmasters journey, just because I wanted to be in leadership, and that was the platform that the company chose to develop the resources in FNB Inspire.
I love that. So FNB has a corporate club for
That's
Toastmasters.
that's
Shout out to
yeah.
FNB Toastmasters in Mozambique.
In Mozambique, yes.
I have a lot of respect for organizations that are driven to better their employees and they actually go ahead and put their money where their mouths are.
Yes.
Because sometimes it is so easy to just tell people, keep developing yourself, keep stretching. But when an organization actually says we are going to pay and do the needful, and then you as the employee, all you need to do is to show up and do the needful. Kudos
That's it.
to
Yeah,
FNB.
that's it.
That is really, really good.
Yeah.
I learned earlier this week that if you want your bank account to grow, then you as the individual, you need to grow. And
That's it.
I'm just thinking this applies also to FNB. They wanted their organization to grow and they decided to help their employees to grow.
That's
That
right.
is awesome. Now,
That's
as
right.
you've been part of Toastmasters for 4 years now in this corporate club, would you let us know the benefits or the tangible, the tangibles that you have managed to get out of being a Toastmaster as it relates to your career?
That's right. I've been a Toastmaster for this long time. I should say it's long in the way I see the development that I had along the journey and the achievement, immediate achievement that I had and I wanted in my career. I had not expected that it would take that this long to stay in Toastmasters.
Mm-hmm.
But above all is the fact that in a very short time, I learned all that I needed in my leadership career as the immediate reason for having been enrolled into this journey.
Right.
The most interesting in this is it was a very quick way of learning to be a leader because at Toastmasters, you have the transcripts, you have the learning whereby by yourself you go through the projects, you experience, you research, and you test yourself, and you have the practical side of it. You learn to be a leader and you be a leader inside the club, right? So I took hold of some roles as leader in the club and practiced exactly what I had experienced by the learning journey along the Toastmasters pathways, which is just like courses, right? So this is the differentiator from having been enrolled into Toastmasters for leadership journey than having to go to a company which coaches or mentors on how to lead, because I wouldn't have the practical side. I would only have the theories and all the information about what to do, what are the techniques and so on, but where to implement these techniques, I would go back to do by myself, right? So this is
right.
It was very good.
Before you proceed, if I can just ask, because I can follow exactly what you say in terms of learning by doing. You spoke of roles that you took which leaned into your leadership. Can you give us an example of one role that you grabbed by the horns and you ran with it, and how that then translated to how you did your work in the organization?
My fastest role, well, it's not the fastest that I took linked to my department. My department was much related to motivating and coaching my team. That was the reason why I wanted to go into leadership, and that I got when I got into the vice president of education. Vice president of education takes the responsibility of guiding all the club on knowing what they need to do, how they need to navigate, what is to be Toastmasters, and what is to be a better communicator, how to achieve that in the path, and how to be a leader. And besides that, the vice president of education is kind of I could say, the COO. Okay,
Yes.
the second managing director of the club. So at the end of the day, I ended up being part of not only learning, but also managing. Then I went into the second level, that was to be a president, the president of the club. So I got again to such a role, which I took this double experience. That's
So as president, you are now effectively CEO of the club.
Of the company.
I loved being president, and it tickled me the first time I would be referred to as Madam President. I thought it was the most interesting title to ever hold.
Yeah,
You know, and I love the way that it is so well structured in Toastmasters that you know that if you're VPE and you do a really excellent job, the next progression ideally would be for you to become the next president. So it shaped up well for you. When you were president, what was the most challenging thing about you being, what was the most challenging aspect of the role of being a president?
Well, at a corporate, it's something different, right? There
Yes.
are some corporate clubs. The overall challenge that the corporate clubs have is the employees sometimes understand being Toastmaster is part of the job.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand being Toastmaster as a mean of uh, empowering, a mean of equipping yourself to do better in your job and in
Right.
life, right? Because of that, when they only practice and they only exercise whatever need to be done in this career
Mm-hmm.
only in their business time. They don't give
Right.
any extra mile to do a lot of researches and participate like in these meetings at this stage, at this time, outside the business hours. So this is the main challenge that either as VP or as president, the, the corporate clubs have. Now, myself, I had the challenge as the vice president of education. So it was smoother when I came to be the president. At that level, at that moment, the issue that I had was much the link to the area directorship because I was almost alone there. I hadn't the chance to have a lot of my members to go with me, and that I had to stand by myself and do as much as possible. In that time, I had my VPE with some limitation, and I had to double the work at a certain point. So that was the challenge, not to have learned enough to find someone a successor to assist on that role. So I had to double by myself, and I learned from that as a president or as a leader, you need to prepare yourself to have someone to cover up in time because you cannot do the things by yourself. So this is one of the learning ahead.
Absolutely. Those succession plans and backup plans that make things go smoother. That is a great tip. Now, Toastmaster George, Toastmasters gives people a lot of joy apart from the practicals that we've already talked about. What is your sweet spot when Toastmasters is concerned? What about Toastmasters makes you happy, gives you joy, makes it fun? Everyone can now say it with me. If it's not fun, it's not Toastmasters. What is that sweet spot for you when it comes to Toastmasters?
I love the feedback, and the feedback is fun enough for me. It doesn't have lauders, it doesn't have any type of jokes for you to laugh to do, but it's funny because you never get a feedback which is 100% to say you've done tick 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 100%. Be there a Toastmaster, a beginner, or a Toastmaster of 20 years, you will always have a feedback, a constructive feedback, which helps you go extra mile. And that is the most interesting for me. And it is the very point that takes me to all the meetings whenever possible.
Wow, Toastmaster George, does that mean that this is only when you are giving speeches?
No, actually not. We do have feedback, not only for speeches. Remember, we have the general evaluator. If we can go into the deep language of Toastmaster, the general evaluator that can also give the feedback of how all the meeting happened and all the role players end up receiving feedback of how they managed their responsibility in their roles. So not only as a speaker, but in all the roles that you take, you have a chance of having some type of evaluation and feedback.
Amazing, amazing. That is a different answer from what I normally get because you are correct. And if that is fun for you, I can see how that would make you keep coming back. It has been said that we learn the most during times of enjoyment. And when you
Yes.
enjoy things, it evokes emotions in you, and you will always remember. That sounds
Yes.
like that's your sweet spot.
Definitely.
And
Definitely. That's it.
I'm excited. And
Yeah.
I'm also thinking that you don't have to be the one giving the speech for you to glean from
This way.
feedback that's been given to someone else who has given a
Definitely.
speech.
Definitely. Definitely. Remember, and most of it is you give speech, say within 2 months, eventually you may give one speech, but you have got quite a lot of sessions, events in which you have got to take a role. And when I, for example, I take the role of Toastmaster of the day or MC of the day,
Right.
you've got quite a lot of opportunities of missing this and that. And when you have a feedback on there, it's a really a game changer. It's a really something interesting. Yeah.
It is a game changer. There you are, very correct. And the more we keep growing, the
Yeah.
more
The better.
we are elevating our speaking game, our leadership game. And you only get to that point when somebody gives you feedback and they say,
Yes.
slow down on
Yeah.
this, do this
Yeah.
better, you might consider this. Why is feedback for you a game changer? As in, why does it not bug you, for lack of a better word? A lot of people are very averse to being given growth points, feedback, whatever you want to call it. But you are saying, I love it. You're saying, give me more. I need it.
Yes.
Let us
Yes.
know why that is different for you.
To be honest, this is something which I learned at Toastmasters, right? Before Toastmasters, I hated feedback.
That
Okay.
was a trick question. I knew that if you were honest, you were going to address it this way.
Yes,
Right.
it's the fact that that is the way we learn at Toastmasters by receiving feedback. And I internalized that to me. I found out I don't have any mean of learning at Toastmasters than listening to what others see on whatever I do in the events. That is how I understood that for the minimum thing, they say, hey, George, this was not good. I think it was not good, would be better this way. The next chance that I have to take that role, I do my best. I do what I can do, all my best to see if I can twist here and twist there to not to repeat the same I did in the previous.
Right.
So whatever I do, I want this feedback. And I take the opportunity not only of having only to listen, I have the chance of not even when I'm called tomorrow, after tomorrow, any day, any chance I have to give feedback to anyone that I think something was not good or could be better on my view in any moment of the event. So this is something that I learned, and I think all the Toastmasters should take this because this is our way of learning.
This is awesome. I very practical, very relevant, and not only limited to Toastmasters. We learn
Definitely.
it in Toastmasters and we apply it across the
Yeah,
board.
definitely.
Apart from the business side, Toastmaster George, in your personal life, maybe in your social circles, how have you found Toastmasters to be a value adding tool in your lifestyle?
Well, I could start from my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a point where I learned to listen. I I had really a change on my social side, on my life, my family, because I gave chance of everyone being capable to give a feedback. Actually, I come back again to the feedback, but at the end of the day, give the opportunity of saying anything sees wrong or right
Mm-hmm.
in any circumstances. So my relation and with my family tended to be very solid because they found welcome to say anything. and to be true, there were some who could see me doing something wrong, but just afraid to what could you say if I told him this is not right, or my opinion is this is not well, or daddy, this is. So I got to have my family as my friends, right? This is the very first point that I would take. And in my professional, then it added more emphasis into my department because I could see my team differently, and they could also see me differently, and they could come and say, well, we think we could do this way and that way. It's really interesting when you come out of Toastmaster and you implement it in life. It's really helpful. Yeah.
I love that. Jim Quick, gentleman I follow, says how you do anything is how you do everything. And the fact that you manage to tie in how feedback is helping at work with how feedback is helping at home as well is an absolute gem. That is, that's such a strong position to be in. And then
definitely.
you don't need to start pivoting, am I at work? Am I at home? You just know that feedback is edifying, it's for growth, and you embrace it. That is awesome.
And this is the differentiator that I always talk about when I come to my fellow Toastmasters from corporate clubs to make this simple comparison that helps one to understand that Toastmasters is not only about the career professional George, is life, because it's a full life. Yeah.
Oh, what a way to wrap it up. Yeah. I am so glad that you managed to come here today and speak to existing Toastmasters, the corporate world, and prospective Toastmasters. I have one thing that I would like to ask of you. Yes, we have such a great crowd of superstar Toastmasters worldwide. Would you give me one Toastmaster who you think is an absolute rock star Toastmaster? And please tell us why.
Well. In my career, I say career, I just want to add the last year, I had the opportunity of knowing many more Toastmasters outside from my smaller country, whereby we only had 5 clubs, so you were seeing only 5 people. Now I would really put 2-3 people, Jabulu Taylor, all right?
Yeah.
That is one who has really encouraged me to go further. And I really appreciate how he meant things. I first saw him in country in Mozambique for one training, and I just said, hey, this man is different. And when I came to sit by his side for 3 days in a conference, I really understood that this man was meant to be a differentiator. So my head goes to Jabolotela.
Yay! Absolute rockstar Toastmaster. You are correct. The energy that he brings in, the way that he's so vested in Toastmasters, and the way he's knowledgeable. There are those Toastmasters where if you are looking for answers,
that's right,
you have to have a group where you say, this is where I go.
Yes, that's it. That's definitely. We need references.
Resourceful. Yes.
We need
references. One of those resourceful people.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster George, for your time. Thank you for coming and speaking to the listeners and spending time with me, Busi Chiware, on ToastTalks, just doing what we love, sharing conversations about Toastmasters. You have one more word. Go for it.
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for having me and giving the opportunity of sharing this moment. I learned at my last stages of being Toastmaster that I need to allow myself to come out of my comfort zone and test everything that comes along. That's why I accepted to be area director, and I tested myself into that. And I say I'm open to more challenges, right? Because I understand that I grow even more when I get to those challenges. So that's it.
Amazing. And just at that point, you have gone and told us how confidence is developed in Toastmasters. You are now
Definitely.
stretching yourself, and
Yes.
we are so proud of you and very glad that you
Good.
decided to get out of your comfort zone and step
Yes.
onto this virtual podium and allow
Definitely.
people to hear your voice and your story. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
And I look forward to seeing you in our very vast Toastmaster world as we walk
Sure.
along the streets that were
Sure.
created by Dr. Ralph Smedley. On that
Thank you
point,
very much.
thank you, and we will meet again, dear listeners. Stay tuned. I
Thank you.
always
Thank you.
have amazing
Thank you.
guests, and there will be a session with another guest very soon. Keep ears to the ground, dear listeners. Over and out.